It is a big week. The Creativity Project comes out. Holy smokes, it's finally here. 2+ years. I can't believe it's finally here. You ready? Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new to the show and you are looking for videos to get kids excited about reading and writing and awesome book recommendations, click that subscribe button down below. If you click the bell, you get an email every time I post a new video. One of the things that all of us as educators want for our students is for their dreams to come true. We want them to live happy, full lives. And that's pretty much the reason that we do everything that we do. It's kind of crazy that my dream is coming true this week. My dream of becoming a published author with the release of the book, The Creativity Project. It is in the world, finally. And with this little book entering the world, I can't help but think about all of the people that helped me to get here. And in particular, the teachers at Parma Elementary. The book is dedicated to the students of Parma Elementary with the hope that they dream big. I just can't stop thinking about all of the people who were here at Parma Elementary when I was here as a student that helped my dream to come true. So I want to take a little bit of time to talk about them and the impact that they had on my life. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Comden, was phenomenal. I did not want to go to school. My dad had to carry me the entire way, kicking and screaming. Like, yes, kicking and screaming. I was on his back. And he got me to school, and he promised me that he would stay with me in school until the whole day. He said he would stay with me the whole day, and that made me feel safe, and I started to play. And then like two minutes later, I was playing in the sandbox, and he was gone. And I started to cry again, and then Miss Comden came up, and she comforted me, and she made me feel safe. And the day, I survived the day, and I really liked it. And one of my most clear memories from kindergarten was when we had a substitute teacher. I think it was the first ever substitute teacher that we had, and we were on the carpet, and I was talking to my friend Norm, and I got sent back to my seat. And I remember putting my head down on my desk and just bawling. It was like the worst moment of my life up until that point. I remember the next day when Miss Comden came back, and just how happy I was to see her, and how much fun I had in her class, how much more I appreciated her once I saw what it was like without her. My first grade teacher was Mrs. Clevenger, and she is an angel. She was fantastic. That was the year that Michigan State made the Rose Bowl. So they made the Rose Bowl when I was in first grade. They didn't make the Rose Bowl again until like 4 years ago. So with Miss Clevenger, we made these trees for like decoration right before Christmas, and we got to decorate them with whatever I wanted. And I had always been like super obsessed with Michigan State, which seems kind of weird for a little kid, but I was like just all in, obsessed, go green, go white. And I remember decorating my tree with all Michigan State stuff, and just how she was so proud of me. And she just made me feel so great and cool, and I just loved that like my passion was validated by her. That tree, it was probably like 3 or 4 feet tall, just made out of green butcher paper, and that hung in my closet through middle school. Like I kept that for that long. Teachers, the things that you do with your students stay with them for so long. In second grade, I had Miss Baker, and I loved every single minute of second grade. But the moment that stands out and will always stand out to me is the very first day of the school year, the very first half day. She took all of the boys into the girls' bathroom. And I was like, this teacher is so bad to the bone. She took us into the girls' bathroom. She goes, hey, look, not a big deal. Now you won't have any reason to ever want to come in here again. It was brilliant, and I didn't go or have any desire to go into the girls' bathroom ever again. My third grade teacher was Miss Fry, and Miss Fry was a brilliant read aloud teacher. I loved the books that she read. She read with such passion and such joy. She also had a bathtub in her class, and oh, I loved sitting in that bathtub and reading books. My favorite memory from third grade, looking back now, is I read this book and I really liked it. And it said what I thought was a bad word, like the other word for donkey in it. And I thought that was really funny. It was on the very last page. I wish I could remember the name of the book, but I can't. It said the other word for donkey, and I convinced her to read it aloud. So I was so happy that she validated me as a reader, and she read aloud this book that I loved so much. And I had told all my friends about what was going to happen at the end of the book, and we were all so excited. And she gets to the last part, and she pauses. She says, donkey. She said donkey. And then she looked at me and smiled. It was so awesome. Thank you, Miss Fry. Miss Fry was actually, I think, the only teacher who at the last day of the school year I cried. I remember after school going to the tire swing, and I walked home from school every day. I remember going to the tire swing and just sitting in it and just like crying. Like I was going to miss her so much. Fourth grade was probably the most important year to me as a reader my entire childhood. I had Miss Collins, and Miss Collins read us Roald Dahl and Judy Blume and Beverly Cleary, and most importantly, she read us Gary Paulson's Hatchet, and that changed my life because I saw books, what books could do for a reader, and how books could totally consume you and your life. We also had a student teacher that year, Mr. Bontrager, who went on to be a teacher in our district and my high school baseball coach. Now he is a local superintendent. And I can remember him talking, just like I was a walker, and like there were 2 bells, and then the first bell the busters would go, and then the second bell, we waited for the second bell, we just kind of hang out in the classroom. And I remember him talking to us about the Tigers, and it was just amazing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like teachers can be so cool and like real people and like cool things. And I really think that had a huge impact on me later on deciding to be a teacher. Those conversations with Mr. Bontrager, and he was like a college baseball player, and I remember him playing basketball with us at recess. And you know, I like to think that I guess if I were to say that I modeled my teaching after any male teacher, it would definitely be Mr. Bontrager. Thanks, Coach. My 5th grade teacher was Mrs. Serrata, and we had portables, so we were like, the school was too big, so we had like this extra building off to the side, and it was kind of cool because it had like a bathroom between. It was like our own little mini school, and I had a great time with Miss Serrata, and we actually switched at Mr. Snyder for math. We did these state projects, and I actually got to learn to like quilt a square of Pennsylvania's state flower. It was awesome. But what I remember most about that class was that was the year that Irvin Magic Johnson was diagnosed and went public with being HIV positive. And as a avid sports fan and a huge Michigan State fan, it was traumatic to me, and I was really confused and scared and worried. I just didn't know how to feel or what to do. And that was kind of a new probably topic for just a lot of people at that time, to be that disease to become so mainstream. And I remember Mrs. Serrata leading a classroom conversation around that. And that couldn't have been easy looking back. And that probably was a little scary, but like we needed it. There are a lot of guys and girls like me who love sports and who love Michigan State and who were hearing things on the news and didn't know. And I don't think that she had all the answers, but I love that she helped us to deal with that. While this book is dedicated to the amazing students at Parma Elementary, this book would not exist if it wasn't for the teachers here in the village of Parma. They impacted my life tremendously. They made me the man that I am today. They made me feel so blessed and so loved, and helped me to see what great teachers could do and be. And I'm seeing the same things now as the teacher at Parma Elementary. We have teachers who care tremendously about kids and who are helping them find ways to make their dreams come true. Reader, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you find ways to make the dreams come true in the lives of your students. Have an awesome day. Happy.